Good morning, YouTubers, and welcome to another Luk'A'Here, y'all podcast with your host, Miss Trina. I'm here today to discuss the aging in place made easy with in-home care. Aging in place made easy with in-home care. Now, the future of aging and independence at home. You know, the aging in place refers to any senior living at home as they grow older rather than go to an assisted living facility. It's preferred because their surroundings are more, you know, more for emotional well being and a sense of independence. Meaning, if I stay at home, I can basically, live how I want to live how I've been living. I'm not under no strict either curfew or I'm not under no strict supervision. Let's say it like that. And the reason why I say curfew, because some seniors, you know what I'm saying, they be out there still getting it in. Seriously. I am so serious when I say that. Getting it in, baby. This is Texas. But anyway, the importance of in-home care and the aging at home, like I said, that's one of the things that, is so important to our aging population here in Texas. Because like I said, don't nobody want to actually leave their familiar surroundings to go to another set of to go to unfamiliar surroundings with people, constantly walking in and out your room, or you seeing more people than you usually see at home or you done seen in your lifetime. It's just people everywhere. Some people can't deal with that when they get old, so staying at home is the best option. But I got a quick stat for you though, and it's the truth. Over 75% of them seniors rather stay at home. Nobody want to go to a nursing home, and shoot, I don't blame them. Now, if it's medically necessary, then okay. I mean, I get that. But in a more perfect world, it wouldn't be no nursing homes. It wouldn't be no assisted livings. It wouldn't be none of that because everybody take care of their own. But baby, this ain't even no perfect world like that. So in this segment, we're gonna discuss and we're gonna educate, and I'm gonna try to inspire on how aging in place improves quality of life and how in-home care makes this possible. Okay. Now, why staying at home matters. That's what we're gonna talk about first. Why staying at home matters. You know, First of all, the emotional benefits are that they maintain their dignity and it reduces loneliness and it makes um, for a happier person. You know, Nobody, wants to go to it, and even at facilities sometimes, because the text, if you don't have, I ain't gonna say if you don't have a good one, but if you have one that's actually textbook and work it by the book, then yeah, you're gonna feel like you're lonely because they got somewhere to be, they got something to do, their time is, limited with each uh, patient or resident. So, they constantly moving and you probably don't get that one-on-one care. You probably don't get that one-on-one conversation, So in that aspect, you can be lonely too, you know? So, but then the physical benefits of this is it reduces risk of injuries, in unfamiliar places. You wake up in the middle of the night, you think you at home, you going to the bathroom, but you done fell over somebody else's bed or somebody else's shoes that you sharing a room with. That ain't cool. That ain't cool because a broke hip is not sexy in an assisted living. I'm telling you the truth right now. Trust me. I'm not saying that I didn't been through it. I have been through it when I took care of it. So yeah, that ain't good. And it also minimizes exposure to infections, because you in a open setting with dozens of other patients or residents whose diagnosis is unknown. You know what I mean? And you can pick up infections like that easily. You can pick up, especially in crowded places. But it's less likely that you pick up any kind of infection or anything like that if you at home. mean, just be at home, you know. And plus, the financial benefits are way better. Like I said earlier, you'll save a whole lot of money, man, for real. But the role of the in-home caregiver making aging in place possible. You know, you got personal care. That's that help with the ADLs, which is your bathing, your grooming, your eating, your prepping meals or whatever. And then you got medical care. The medical care is medication assistance. Making sure that you get topical creams or any treatments or whatever on time, and companion care, which is the social interaction and the emotional support, and plus the cognitive engagement, because you actually spending time one on one with the same person like every day. I won't say all day because the hours vary, but it's the same person every day, and that person will look forward to seeing that person, especially if they're good to them. Now, we have a whole lot of tech advances that's taking place in nursing now too. Yeah, I probably not be on the floor, but I'm keeping up with it. Yeah, sure is. So I can bring this to you, like things like telemedicine, where you can have virtual doctors visit without actually having to go out. That's a cool thing too. Prescriptions. Prescriptions are written and delivered right to their door. They don't have to go out and get prescriptions. So, I mean, aging in place at home is easy if you have the right care system. If you have the right care system, you wouldn't mind aging, because you're doing it in a place that's familiar, and you're doing it in a place where you're surrounded by people that love you, and you can feel that love from them people. So that's a cool thing too. But there are some barriers. Now we got some barriers in aging in place. It really is, and not just for the patient or the family members, but for the caregiver. You know, they got a such thing called caregiver burnout. All you CNAs know what I'm talking about. All you nurses now know what I'm talking about. Burnout. Yeah, but they got support groups and respiratory care, and just all kind of programs that would help caregivers not to experience the burnout. Now, 9 times out of 10, you gonna feel it at one point in your career, and you gonna feel like you just don't want to do this no more. That you just done had enough. The aides sorry, the nurses sorry, the DON ain't listening, and that kind of frustrate a person. But I mean, like, what can you do other than roll with the punches when you actually doing what you love? So it's not really a job. Well, it never was really a job to me. It was doing what I love and just happened to be getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the way it felt to me. So, and home safety concerns. Like, people be like, man, I don't want to have to get, I'm in a wheelchair now, man. Mama in the wheelchair, she got this, she can't hardly stand up, she can't hardly move on her right side. Modify her house. That's her house. That's his house. That's their house. Whatever it takes for them to stay at home with in-home care, modify their house. I mean, even if they so-called don't have the money for it, insurance will pay for stuff like that. Sure will, if they want to be at home. Anything to keep them out of a nursing facility. Now, the financial costs, like the insurance, the insurance is good if you're going into a nursing home, But when you look at the government programs and the family support and stuff like that, see when you look at that, then you know that here we go with, this extra help, because the help you giving, is the first part of the help. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You can get some stuff going on your own, but there are support groups for that. Now the challenge is, like, one of the challenges, well, I ain't gonna say one of the challenges, but I think the biggest challenge would be, to me, would be the modifications for the home according to the the person's abilities now. Some people could have strokes, some people could, be in wheelchairs now. Some people could, shoot, not be able to move. So, some people, yeah, modify their bed. Yeah, make that bed to where, she can, it's easier for her to get in and out of with the caregiver. You know, yeah, it's the modifications. Modifications. People do look at the price now. But the future of in-home care, like where do we go from here, people? When I talk about the future of in-home care, it's so many innovations in in-home care. Like I said, telemedicine. The policy changes and the rise in demand, especially the rise in demand for good aides, for good techs, for good in-home care workers, because I mean, our nursing industry is getting thin out there. You know, everybody want to be an RN to make the big money, but y'all just don't know the heart and soul of it is at the home care level. It's at the CNA level. It really is, whether you like it or not. It just really is. I mean, that's a true statement. It's a true statement for me because I don't look for the monetary in it. I look for the good that I'm doing for a person and with a person. I'm looking at the help I'm giving, and that's a good thing. But excuse me. But aging in place is more than just staying at home. It's about thriving in a place you grew up in, a home you were raised your children, a home you raised your children in, and the home that you know. You know, that's all it is. It's not just about, um, not wanting to go. It's about being familiar. It's about having your surroundings familiar. It's about being able to get up and go and touch your stuff. It's about being able to step outside on your porch and wave at your neighbors. It's just really about your quality of life and living your senior years out safely and comfortably as you can with somebody that care, whether it be a family member or actual paid home care worker, whoever it is. You know, the call to action today is this: if you got somebody there at home, a family member or whatever, and you know that they need help, do just that. Go be a help, because we all need it. So with that being said, thank y'all for joining me for another Luk'A'Here Y'all podcast hosted by Miss Trina. On the next episode, on my next podcast though, I will be talking about, I don't think it's aging in place, but not aging in place, but see there, now they got screwed up just that quick. I know I can't be that old. But anyway, with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and end this one because I really did just get screwed up. Shoot, while I'm sitting up here talking about seniors and aging in place, I feel like that's what I'm doing. I just straight up forgot what I was talking about. But on another note, y'all continue to love each other, continue to help each other. This is Miss Trina. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.